everyone, this is Tommy here. I'm excited to be here again. It's been a while. Okay, so today I will be taking some questions from my husband. Is going to be asking me certain questions, and I will try to answer as we go on. So the first question.
What do you define as good esteem and low self-esteem?
Thank you very much. So basically, let's start from self-esteem. What does esteem mean? Esteem is basically, in layman terms, a rating, the regard that you have for something, the kind of rating, regard that you have for something. So if we're talking about self-esteem, what's the self-rating you have for yourself, self-regard for yourself. So when we're talking about low self-esteem, it means you have a low self-regard, or you regard yourself low, or you place yourself beneath a thing or an opportunity or whatever it may be. And then high self-esteem, on the other hand, of course, the direct opposite of low self-esteem, means you have a good outlook about yourself, you have a good rating about yourself, you feel like you're up to it, and you're up to opportunities, and you're up to opportunities and the good things of life. Yeah, that's in a very layman term specifically.
How true is it that negative words and actions from parents can affect a person's self-esteem from childhood?
Children are basically a product of their parents, and we must not forget that low self-esteem or high self-esteem, they are built from childhood. For instance, if you have a child who grew up in a poor environment, poor parents, no money, no access to education, basically what people define as low class, there's a very high probability that that child will come out with low self-esteem if the child is not exposed to some environment, people, opportunities that gives the child the access to measure up, in quotes, to other people in other ranks. So parents have a vital contribution to their children's esteem. How you treat your children, for instance, some people go to the level of actually, what's the word, messing up their children's esteem. For instance, how do you correct your children in public? So there's nothing wrong with your child does something wrong and you correct them. Oh, my darling, don't do that again. That's not right. But when we go to the extent of, curse words, abusive words, spanking the child, sort of embarrassing the child in public consistently, let's say even throughout their childhood, there's a very great probability that that kind of person is going to come out having a low self-esteem, because if a parent who is supposed to protect me is the one actually making me feel embarrassed, making me feel less of myself, then I would most likely accept that identity, because I don't know myself. My parents are supposed to train me, put me up in some kind of space, and sort of like frame some kind of identity for me as a child, as an adolescent, a teenager, to a large extent, before I start meeting other people of different walks of life. So if my parents can inflict such mind damage for me, self-image damage, so to speak, for me, I would most likely pick that image they built, and that would be the identity I would choose until I'm able to maybe go out and meet people of different caliber, and then maybe somehow that changes my outlook. But in most cases, it's very difficult for people who have been messed up, especially by their parents, by their environment, their siblings, their immediate family, the school they attended when they were younger. It's very difficult for them to come out of that situation. Many times they'll think that, oh, this one is ad guy, but it's not. They're just covering up that esteem somewhere, in their heart. And it's trauma to some people, and many people don't even realize it, but somehow they've just sort of locked it up because they've changed the environment, but they don't know that it's still there somewhere. So yeah, parents have a vital role to play in the esteem of their children.
How can someone overcome the fear of rejection?
Okay, so one thing we want to do for ourselves as grown-up people, I mean, who are listening to this, is to do a self discovery. Like I said when I was speaking earlier regarding the other question, we sort of grow up to adapt to the identity that people, especially our immediate family, our parents, attached to us, our school, our friends, childhood background experience, and all of that. So it is essential that a person will come to a stage in their lives where they're able to say, this is really who I am. This is not about what someone has said. Oh, your head is fat. Oh, your nose is too big. Your nose is what somebody went to do a surgery to have. Your kind of head shape is what somebody needs to do a model somewhere, or you know. And people classify things, or people rate things based on their own selfish interests, meaning how they what their outlook to life is. So there's a need for everyone at every point in time to do a self-assessment and re-examine who they are. You can call yourself who God has called you to be, right? So you want to come out of that shell that people have put you in. You need to do a self-examination and retrace your steps. There's a lot of resource materials that we can use to do personality tests just to know yourself. So when it comes to getting setting and getting a goal in life, which includes you want to ask someone out because you're afraid of rejection, you want to apply for a job, you're afraid of rejection. Many times it just has to do with, do you think you're worthy of that thing? So it goes back to self-esteem. Are you worthy? Do you rate yourself? As I said earlier, do you rate yourself? Do you place yourself in a place of worth for that thing? So you need to go back and tell yourself all of the things that you deserve. If not, you're going to still take a step back, and you will never be able to get that thing until you realign yourself with who you truly are. Remember, a creator made you, which is God, and what you must call yourself is what he has called you. If you have a Honda car and you want to tell yourself that it's a Toyota, you're going to be lying to yourself. What you will call it is what the Honda manufacturer has called it, or so you can't take identity from people outside what the manufacturer has called it. And a lot of people don't know. You can remove the what's it called now, the logo of the Honda car, and then take that of Toyota and replace it in front. Just put it in front of the Honda car, and deceive everybody that, oh, this is a Toyota. I just bought a Toyota yesterday or tomorrow. They may say, okay, it looks somewhat like the Toyota, but the truth is the manufacturer has every print on it. Maybe not on the outside, but on the inside there's a way the manufacturer knows his product, because there's a stamp on that product. So there's a stamp on you, and you shouldn't, whether or not people have placed a different label on you, you need to understand that the one who made you has something inside of you that he can use to recognize that this is you. And that's why we have the Bible. Bible is there to tell us who God has called us, and one of it says you are a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, meaning you were made strategically, and you have access to all the things in life. The Bible tells us that God created the earth, and he told men, fill the earth and subdue it, have dominion. So if he tells you to have dominion, means nothing is far-fetched from you, and so you need to launch into that. Nothing is far-fetched from you. So the moment you start to think that way, it's easy for you to step into your real identity, and you allow what the manufacturer has already done concerning you to come to life. So yeah, identity. Find out who you are and what you're worth. You're worth that good person. You're worth having that good lifestyle. You're worth having that great job, because you are special. and God has made you so. That is why you're special, not because of what people think.
How can someone overcome the issue of not being able to say no to things they are not comfortable with?
So I'll say again, it's all an identity thing. I think once in a while, or at some point in people's lives, human beings, we go through something they call the identity crisis. So I refer again to, I refer again to what I said earlier. The ability to say no comes from the analysis of what you think you should be doing, what you think you should not be doing. Some people are not able to say no in the face of, oh, somebody wants you to do something bad because they're your friends or because they're cool. You think you should. I mean, examples, when a lot of us were in school, there were some set of people that were seen as, oh, they're the talk of the town, they're the big boys, the big girls, and they sort of had the final say. And then once those people approve of you, everybody else thinks you're cool. Who gave them the permission to do that in the first place? You all did. Every single person gave them the permission to think that. But the moment somebody steps up and is defiant towards those people, everybody else sees that, oh, okay, this person is a new cool person. It's the cycle of life. So what you want to do is understand that people will define things the way it suits them most. And so it tells you that you have the right to define things the way you would prefer to have it. But mind you, it is not to say that you have, license to be selfish about your definition of character or definition of processes. What I mean is, and to directly answer that question, you want to be able to step up, step out, sit up, and say no when you need to say no. It's an identity. It's a revolution that comes with finding out who you are, finding out your identity. Trying to impress people, all of those things come with low self-esteem, identity crisis, etc. Trying to feel like you're this, so that people don't think that you're that, or so that people won't be hurt, and then you find yourself doing something extremely bad. That is a clear sign of low self-esteem. So if you find yourself doing all of those things, trying to impress people, trying to, you can't say no to something you don't want to do, maybe not necessarily because it's bad, but you just don't want to do it because you don't feel like it. So really, are you worth dancing to everybody's tune? Are you not worth being happy? Are you not worth being respected? That is your decisions and the things you want to do per time. You are worth all of those things. So it goes to, who are you? What have you called yourself? So you want to just clear all of that. You don't have to say yes to things that you do not want to do. You can say no. And it's not just going to happen in a day, especially if you've had a history around not being forced to do something, maybe by your parents, by guardians, and you've lived with people that maybe are not your parents, and you've had to do things out of your own comfort. It won't be easy, but it's a journey that you can actually make, and you will succeed. So yeah.
So, I'm watching an example about creating people before they don't want to, you have to.
Yeah, like some people grow up with, guardians or parents telling them to, yeah, you have to greet this person by force, you have to bend down, you have to prostrate. There's nothing wrong. It's all culture. It's beautiful. I mean, we have to be respectful. We have to be well mannered, well cultured when we're around people. But sometimes, I've seen people that those occurrences have formed a part of their lives. Now that they're grown, they feel like they owe everybody an explanation as regards what to do with life. They feel like they owe everybody on the streets a greeting, and sometimes it gets really embarrassing because you're just trying to sort of live out the rules that you've been taught to abide by, and it tells in people's lives, in their jobs. And some people become very protective of themselves. They become so defensive. and some people don't even get spouses because of that. Now, so imagine this is you, very innocent. You have external factors telling you how to live your life, and then you've been dancing to their tune for many years in your life. Then you grow up, you're an adult, and then you're found in the midst of people, and the first thing you want to do is block out every single thing that you feel is coming your way to make you relieve that trauma from your childhood. So you become defensive, you become the one that is the saddest, doesn't make any friends, nobody likes to talk to because of those experiences. So that is why self-examination is very important. You want to sit down and find out, okay, am I really doing all of these things? If you're joining us for the first time, this is my YouTube channel. I basically talk about everything godly relationship, everything lifestyle, basically godly, anything Jesus, anything God. Yeah.